Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Renegade Immortal episode number 397 based on novel. So let's start. Infinite divine retribution began. The 9 palaces turned into 9 meteorites and formed a pattern. The 8 diagrams flashed inside and rotated. Inside the 8 diagrams were the 7 stars, releasing a shocking pressure. Inside 7 stars were the 6 direction tortoise shells, and even deeper were the 5 elements, flowing. Inside the 5 elements were the 4 divines roaring. Every time the 4 divines made a turn, the outside would turn as well. Deep within the 4 divines was the monstrous 3 talents light that lit up the void. At the center of the 3 talents, the 2 rights appeared. The 2 right were yin and yang, forming a diagram that slowly turned. This caused all the outer layers to rotate as well. They rotated faster and faster until they were impossible to see clearly. What was bizarre was that all 8 layers of the divine retribution were rotating at different speeds. From the 2 rights to the 9 palaces, the 8 different kinds of retribution formed 8 vortexes that rotated at different speeds, and they fused together. As the thunderous rumbles echoed inside the rotating yin and yang diagram, a burst of light with no color erupted. But it contained the feeling of G realm. At the same time, Wang Lin's body also rotated. All the divine retributions in his body mirrored the ones outside and rotated. At the center of the yin and yang diagram, the G realm was born. The moment the G realm was born, Wang Lin's body stopped collapsing and his origin soul stopped dissipating. Everything stopped and Wang Lin opened his eyes. The moment his eyes opened, red lightning started flashing in his eyes. This red lightning that represented the G realm hadn't appeared in Wang Lin's eyes in over 1,000 years. His white hair moved without any wind and a red light came from the roots of his hair. In just an instant, Wang Lin's white hair turned unexpectedly red. This red was blood red. The red light in his eyes became even more intense, and a monstrous killing intent spread out. The G realm descended. With great sacrifice and with the determination to die, he faced the infinite divine retribution. After his body absorbed all the retributions, a sliver of G realm was born. Wang Lin had finally regained the G realm he had lost so long ago. Just at this instant, the G realm formed by the 9 palaces to 2 rights in the void turned into red lightning and shot straight at Wang Lin. The moment it arrived, Wang Lin let out a laugh and red lightning shot out of his eyes and landed in his right hand. Then his right hand grabbed the G realm from the divine retribution. The moment the destructive aura entered Wang Lin's body, he leaned against the sealed realm formation. He used his body, which was extremely familiar with the G realm, as a medium to transfer the power of the G realm onto the sealed realm formation. The formation rumbled and the treasured spirits appeared to counterattack. At this moment, a large amount of green threads appeared and entrangled them, preventing the treasured spirits from appearing. The G realm from the divine retribution went through Wang Lin's body and entered the formation like crazy. As Wang Lin's body was pushed back, the formation was like a net that was being elongated by Wang Lin. Wang Lin's eyes released red lightning and then his right hand smashed into the sealed realm formation. The G realm that was born inside his body left and shot at the formation. This attack contained 2 G realms. The divine retribution's G realm and Wang Lin's G realm combined to form an unimaginable impact. At this moment, the amount of green threads inside the sealed realm formation increased. They spread out like ripples and caused a large-scale destruction of the sealed realm formation. Thunderous rumbles continued to echo. In just an instant, the net-like formation that had been elongated showed signs of collapse. A small opening was created. The moment the gap was created, screams came from the formation. The heaven-splitting axe that Tuo Sen recognized that belonged to his ancestors appeared. The moment it appeared, the green threads on the formation suddenly collapsed and began resisting the axe. "Why are you not leaving? What are you waiting for?" The Lord of the Sealed Realm's ancient voice echoed from the formation. The moment his voice echoed, the gap in the formation ripped open even more, revealing a hole big enough for a person to pass through. Wang Lin didn't hesitate to shrink down to the size of a normal person from his ancient god body. His right hand grabbed Li Qianmai and then he charged out of the gap. What appeared before him was a foreign space, the ancient star system. There were also a few hundred foreign cultivators wearing strange clothes looking at him with dumbfounded expressions. These cultivators were people of the ancient celestial realm. However, the moment he charged out, the giant ancient god axe entangled by the green threads broke free. It mercilessly chopped down on Wang Lin. With this chop, a heaven-splitting ray of axe energy shot toward Wang Lin and instantly arrived. Wang Lin's expression was ferocious as roared at the ray of axe energy. "You're a weapon of the ancient gods, yet you dare to attack your master." The moment the axe energy closed in, it trembled as if it was struggling. However, in the end, it still flashed by and penetrated Wang Lin's chest. Blood sprayed everywhere and a giant gash appeared on Wang Lin's chest. His face turned pale and he coughed out blood. He was already seriously injured by the divine retribution, and now he was hit by the axe, making his injuries worse. His origin soul had collapsed and even his body wasn't recovering due to the ancient god aura within the axe. Blood continued to flow out, and Wang Lin's organs began to break. His vision became blurry, but he stared at the sealed realm formation as he staggered backwards. At this moment, the gap Wang Lin charged out of rapidly healed until it was flawless once more. However, the green threads charged at the gap like crazy and seemed to take root. As for the giant axe, it floated in the formation, pointing at Wang Lin as if there was a spirit inside it watching Wang Lin. After a long time, the giant axe gradually dissipated into the formation. While Wang Lin was forced to stagger back and he was about to pass out, the ancient star system cultivators were awakened from their shock. They looked at Wang Lin with pure killing intent. The slaughter between the outer and inner realms had no reason. It could be said to be the slaughter between two different races, and only one could survive. Kill him. He charged out of the inner realm and is already seriously injured. Kill this person and send him to the clan, there will surely be rewards. He has already been injured by the formation spirit and is about to die. Kill. The people of the ancient star system were filled with monstrous killing intent. Their eyes were merciless and cruel as they charged at Wang Lin. These outer realm cultivators all had varying cultivation levels. The lowest was Nirvana Cleanser, and the highest was Peak Nirvana Shatterer. Hundreds of cultivators closed in. "You're all courting death." Wang Lin was very weak and was seriously injured, but his eyes were cold. This was the outer realm, a place he had never been to before. This was the place his sealed realm ancestors all wanted to enter from what he saw in the seven-colored realm. There will be a day when a future generation of cultivators will break this formation and cause all you outsiders to become extinct. Rivers of blood will flow in your outer realm. The roar of that celestial clearly echoed inside Wang Lin's ears, and his eyes became colder and colder. He looked at the foreign star system before him and the fading sealed realm formation behind him. One realm apart was a lifetime for many people. The outer realm cultivators closed in an instant. Their ferocious expressions and eyes filled with killing intent clearly entered Wang Lin's vision. Wang Lin's eyes lit up and his left hand formed a seal before pointing to his chest several times. He calmly said, "Celestial realm. Devour the body and soul, heaven extinction spell." Back when Qing Shui appeared in the Thunder Celestial realm, he went on a mad killing spree. The origin souls of all the cultivators he had killed were devoured, and their flesh and blood had been absorbed to become nutrients for Qing Shui to recover. This cruel spell was terrifying, and it was created by Qing Shui. In his whole life, he had only taught it to Wang Lin and no one else. In this whole world, in the inner or outer realm, only Wang Lin and Qing Shui knew this celestial spell. What kind of celestial spell was this? It was clearly an extremely demonic spell. This was the first time Wang Lin had used it, and his body rapidly withered until he was like a skeleton. A frenzied aura came from his body, and even the scar on his chest unexpectedly moved so no more blood flowed out. The moment the outer realm cultivators arrived, a devilish laugh echoed. Wang Lin stepped forward and turned into black fog before charging into the outer realm cultivators. An earth-shattering scream filled with indescribable fear echoed. The expressions of all the surrounding cultivators changed when they heard this. The black fog merged with the world and disappeared, leaving behind the cultivator that was caught. That cultivator was now only a bag of bones and his eyes were crazy. There was still monstrous fear on his face, and his body was completely drained. His body collapsed and dissipated. The nightmare had just started for the Outer Realm cultivators guarding the Sealed Realm formation. Wang Lin, who had now entered the Outer Realm and could use spatial bending and this celestial devouring spell, was their biggest nightmare. Black fog suddenly appeared behind an Outer Realm Nirvana cleanser cultivator. He didn't have time to turn around before he felt pain on his back. The black fog charged into his body and his body expanded like crazy as he screamed frantically. In just a moment, his body exploded. Blood spattered everywhere. The nightmare had begun. The cultivator that expanded rapidly and exploded released a lot of blood. However, the blood quickly recondensed and was absorbed by the black fog. Even the cultivator's origin soul was completely devoured. The mournful scream before death echoed across the quiet space and spread very far. Just as these Outer Realm cultivators were in shock, an old man who was at the peak of the Nirvana Shatterer stage quickly roared, "Form a formation." The cultivators retreated at once and their hands formed seals. Different marks began to flash between their eyebrows. However, just as the peak Nirvana Shatterer old man roared, his expression changed greatly and he quickly retreated. The black fog that had absorbed the cultivator that exploded charged toward him. After a few seconds, the black fog disappeared without a trace. The peak Nirvana Shatterer old man didn't hesitate to make all the origin energy in his body surge and erupt. A blast with his body as the center quickly spread out. This person is seriously injured. If we scatter our energy, he won't get close. However, before he could finish speaking, the black fog appeared in the void behind him. Inside the black fog was a pair of eyes that contained red lightning. It was the G realm. In a flash, it became as cold as the coldest winter night. The red lightning attracted the gazes of all the cultivators here. The blood-red G realm became the only thing in their minds. In particular, the pupils of the peak Nirvana Shatterer old man shrank as they reflected the red lightning. The red lightning shot out of the black fog and charged at the old man. The old man let out a roar and his right hand formed a seal, and he slapped forward several times as he retreated. His left hand reached at the void and a shield with a strange face suddenly appeared before him. The old man had never felt a crisis of death so strong, and he was completely focused on the red lightning. The world was large and space was boundless, and although there were many cultivators around him the old man had never felt so alone. At this moment, all of the stars, the heavens, and the cultivators around him all disappeared. The only thing remaining in the old man's eyes was the red lightning that was rapidly approaching. His right hand contained all of his Nirvana Shatterer cultivation, and as he slapped his hand, waves of powerful origin energy shot out. They turned into different spells to stop the red lightning, but the red lightning was far stronger than anyone could have imagined. A thunderous rumble echoed in a flash. The spells the old man had used weren't even qualified to stop the red lightning, and they all collapsed instantly. The red lightning penetrated them all and closed in on the shield with the strange face. The old man's face was ashen and his hands were on the shield. The veins on his face swelled up and he ferociously roared, "Ancestral spirit, protect." However, before he could finish speaking, the red light smashed into the shield with the strange face. Crackling sounds echoed across the stars and entered the ears of all the surrounding cultivators. They stared dumbfoundedly at all of this, and their eyes revealed unimaginable fear and horror. The strange face on the shield moved when the red lightning closed in, and it appeared to devour the red lightning. The red lightning entered its mouth, and thunderous rumbles echoed inside. The strange face let out a mournful scream before collapsing as the red lightning pierced through. The red lightning landed on the shield and tore it apart. As the shield collapsed, the red lightning flashed out of it and entered the old man. His body trembled and his eyes became dim as black blood oozed out of his orifices. The red lightning went into his body, and the moment it touched his origin soul collapsed without any resistance. His soul collapsed and his origin soul was extinguished. Then all vitality disappeared from his body. The black fog surrounded the old man's body, and a moment later, the black fog left, leaving behind a bag of bones that dissipated into ashes. "Is this an outer realm cultivator?" A gloomy voice came from the black fog and echoed across the stars. The appearance of this voice ignited the panic and fear that had been gathering in the hearts of the cultivators. The black fog was like a nightmare. The moment they encountered it, they would die miserably. The inner realm cultivators were like a flock of sheep to them, not even worth considering a threat. They even believed that they were the inner realm's heavenly Tao. Every single member of the ancient star system could be the heavenly Tao of the inner realm cultivators. The inner realm was like a wasteland filled with savages. However, at this moment, all of those thoughts collapsed and their eyes became filled with monstrous fear. They didn't hesitate at all to retreat. They didn't dare to fight back, and the only thing in their minds was escape, escape, escape. Wang Lin's figure could vaguely be seen inside the black fog as he licked his lips. This devour spell was extremely powerful. After devouring several people, Wang Lin's injuries were rapidly recovering. The comfortable feeling after he devoured someone was like eating a celestial fruit. It was intoxicating and made it hard to stop. His eyes flashed red. The moment the hundreds of cultivators scattered, Wang Lin laughed and stepped out of the black fog towards them. His body was thin and he was surrounded by black fog as if he had just walked out of hell. Now he charged out and arrived next to an outer realm cultivator. This cultivator wasn't old, he looked like a youth. His eyes was filled with indescribable fear. When Wang Lin arrived, he forgot to resist and screamed. However, his scream had only started when it suddenly stopped. Wang Lin's left hand grabbed the youth's neck and then he charged forward without pausing at all. As Wang Lin moved forward, the youth's neck was being choked, so he couldn't make any sound. The youth trembled violently as black fog came out of his body. His body immediately withered, and his origin origin energy, and vitality were absorbed by Wang Lin's left hand. His eyes widened, and the moment his eyes blurred, his body exploded. Even his blood was absorbed by Wang Lin. It was as if his entire body had been devoured by Wang Lin's left hand. The moment he collapsed, Wang Lin caught up to another outer realm cultivator. This was a delicate woman, and her eyes were filled with endless fear. The first time Wang Lin had devoured someone was when he was covered in black fog, and although it was terrifying, it wasn't as bloody. But what had happened just now was visually impactful. When he closed in and the smell of blood entered her nose, she screamed. She tried to retreat, but she slammed into Wang Lin's chest and was pushed forward. Her mournful screams became even more violent and sharp. The woman's body trembled and quickly withered. The beauty was no longer there, only bones remained. Demon? This person is a demon? As the mournful screams echoed, the cultivators all ran, and they were filled with endless panic. As the miserable screams echoed, Wang Lin devoured, and he started moving faster and faster. Thanks to his spatial bending, these hundreds of cultivators had nowhere to run. Wang Lin would often catch up to a person in a flash. It didn't matter if they were male or female, they were all his enemies. There was no reason for the battle between the inner and outer realms, only slaughter. This crazed bloodbath continued outside the sealed realm formation. The sealed realm formation was the only witness to this bloodbath. The roars of the inner realm cultivators when they were killed by the formation spirit while being looked down upon with cold indifference by the outer realm cultivators echoed. There will be a day when a future generation of cultivators will break this formation and cause all you outsiders to become extinct. Rivers of blood will flow in your outer realm. The blood didn't form a river, but it was even more shocking than a river of blood. As the devouring continued, Wang Lin rapidly recovered in a short period of time. His origin soul had recovered and his soul had solidified. Only the injury on his chest was recovering slowly. A majority of the hundreds of cultivators had been devoured by him in a frenzy. The remaining 100 or so cultivators with the highest cultivation levels had all escaped far away with fear and terror in their eyes. After licking his lips, Wang Lin suddenly turned around and looked at the escaping cultivators. The black fog spread out and covered the area. None of you can escape. He suddenly turned around and began to form a vortex with the black fog, and it rotated like crazy. As it rotated, the vortex became larger and larger. It also gave off a powerful suction force. The escaping cultivators slowed down, and some were terrified to find that their bodies were being pulled in. The fear of life and death and the shock from the bloodbath from before made these cultivators feel despair. Just at this moment, Wang Lin's expression changed greatly and he looked into the distance. Without hesitation, he waved his hand and the black fog turned into arms that grabbed the surrounding cultivators. The moment the black fog entangled a cultivator, he began to devour them. Miserable screams echoed, and everyone guarding the formation died. After devouring these cultivators, Wang Lin quickly took a step and disappeared without a trace. The moment he disappeared, a mad roar came from the distance. Wang Lin! A giant figure comparable to the starry sky rushed toward this location. Tuo Sen! The moment Wang Lin merged with the world, there was a flash of coldness in his eyes, and he looked at the giant figure behind him. Although he was still far away, Tuo Sen's body was extremely large. Just his roar was able to almost collapse the origin energy in the world. He really is in the outer realm. Wang Lin disappeared. Shortly after he disappeared, there was a thunderous rumble and a giant body arrived outside the sealed realm formation. His body gave off an intense smell of blood. During these years in the outer realm, he had been slaughtering clan after clan in the outer realm, and in the end he caused the third step cultivators of the ancient star system to hunt him. If it was only one or two third step cultivators, he wouldn't be afraid, and it was likely they would be killed by him. However, it wasn't just one or two, but 3 third step cultivators chasing him. One of them was at the spirit void stage. Although he hadn't gone through the retribution yet, he could already use heaven-shattering spells. This alone was enough to give Tuo Sen a headache. Tuo Sen was already injured when he broke through the sealed realm formation, and he had to blow up the captured third step cultivators in his stars, so he was at his weakest. However, his body was something Wang Lin couldn't compare with. His body was a true ancient god body, a true royal ancient god body that had survived for countless years. Its strength was unimaginable. Under the pursuit of the 3 third step cultivators, his injuries became more numerous, but those 3 weren't having a good time either. They were also injured, and neither side could handle the other. Only the powerful cultivator at the spirit void stage was able to give Tuo Sen a heavy blow, which caused him to retreat in anger. He destroyed all living thing he saw, and the 3 third step cultivators didn't seem like they were willing to push him too far. It seemed they wanted to chase Tuo Sen until he was completely exhausted. The anger that had been raging in his heart for 10 years was enough to burn the world. He had come here looking for Wang Lin but couldn't find Wang Lin, and this almost made him go crazy. However, just as his anger reached a peak, he unexpectedly felt Wang Lin's aura in the ancient star system. Tuo Sen charged over without any hesitation after discovering this. The 3 rays of light followed him far away. There were 2 men and 1 woman. It was impossible to see what they looked like as the space around them was twisted by a spell that blocked all divine sense and vision. They followed Tuo Sen from a distance without stopping. Tuo Sen arrived next to the sealed realm formation with a thunderous rumble, and his right hand punched at the void. A powerful roar echoed as he tore open a spatial crack. His body shrank to the size of a normal person and disappeared into the spatial crack. Chase! No matter what, he had to catch Wang Lin and devour him. Then he would turn around and devour the 3 third step cultivators chasing him to appease the anger in his heart. Wang Lin merged with the world and used spatial bending without any target. He used his full power to go to the farthest place possible. Large amounts of ripples dispersed in a star field in the northern part of the ancient star system. Wang Lin's figure walked out, and he was still covered in black fog. Without any hesitation, he began teleporting away. However, the moment after he appeared, a storm started appearing behind him. This storm was powerful beyond imagination. The storm roared and immediately tore open a spatial crack. Cold air came out like crazy and a roar echoed. Tuo Sen charged out of the spatial crack like crazy. His eyes were bloodshot and filled with greed. Wang Lin! This god has finally found you. Wang Lin walked forward. Instead of teleporting, he used spatial bending. As he merged with the world, he turned to look at Tuo Sen, who was charging out from the spatial crack. His eyes flashed red as the G realm turned into red lightning and shot out toward Tuo Sen. Tuo Sen revealed a ferocious expression as his right hand formed a fist and he threw a punch. One punch had the power to explode a cultivation planet. His right hand moved very fast and collided with the red lightning. The red lightning drilled into Tuo Sen and began a frenzy of destruction. However, at the same time, Tuo Sen's attack shot out and a portion of it shot toward Wang Lin. It landed on Wang Lin's body as he merged with the world. His body trembled violently and he coughed out blood. The black fog around him collapsed and he disappeared into the world. Tuo Sen's right hand paused and his eyes revealed a strange light. Divine Retribution G. His expression changed. He couldn't destroy the red lightning inside his body, so it continued to cause destruction inside him. However, it wasn't much harm compared to an ancient god's powerful recovery. But Tuo Sen was already injured, so it left a hidden danger. Just as he was about to continue to chase, he suddenly frowned. The 3 rays of light behind him suddenly sped up. Ever since he arrived here, the 3 of them had been following him. The moment they saw the red lightning, they immediately recognized it. At this moment, they didn't hesitate to close in, and the 3 rays of light charged at Tuo Sen. Wang Lin's figure staggered out of the void somewhere in the ancient star system. His face was pale and he coughed out another mouthful of blood. The wound on his chest was torn open once more and blood dyed his clothes. This wound contained the aura of the heaven-splitting axe, so it was extremely difficult for an ancient god to recover from it. Unless he could force out this aura, it would take a very long time for it to recover. Wang Lin wasn't surprised to meet Tuo Sen here. However, even though he knew that Tuo Sen was here and that he wanted to kill him, how could Wang Lin not come with fear of his own death? After his body reappeared, he waved his left hand and the blood sword appeared. He began teleporting without any hesitation. Aside from the G realm, he still had this blood sword. This sword was also an ancient god treasure. Even though it was no match for the heaven-splitting axe, it could still cause great damage to ancient gods. During Wang Lin's brief contact with Tuo Sen, he found that Tuo Sen was far weaker than he was back in the land of the ancient god. More importantly, with Wang Lin's wisdom and his understanding of Tuo Sen, there was no way Tuo Sen would remain hidden. He must have gone on a killing spree. This would certainly attract the attention of the third-step cultivators in the ancient star system, and they might even hunt him. Aside from breaking the sealed realm formation, Tuo Sen's injuries must also be from being attacked. He looked exhausted, so I presume he is being hunted right now too. Wang Lin's eyes lit up and he quickly teleported. His figure flashed through space, and every time he flashed, he crossed immeasurable distances. After a while, Wang Lin detected no signs of Tuo Sen chasing him, which confirmed his speculation. However, he understood that this would only be short-lived. There had to be a reason as to why Tuo Sen had been able to be so arrogant here for so many years, and with how strong his body was, very few people could kill him. Tuo Sen would chase after him very soon. Wang Lin was very certain of this. He didn't have much time, he needed to quickly return to his peak. At this moment, he flew at top speed and quickly rushed through space. Only after losing Tuo Sen can I send Li Qianmai to Dao Master Blue Dream. Earlier, when I devoured those hundreds of cultivators, I also took their memories. Blue Dream Dao Master is one of the 5 Masters' ancient star system. He lives on Mount Blue in the Blue Silk clan. While Wang Lin teleported, he flashed through the stars. A moment later, there was a flash of coldness in his eyes. He detected a cultivation planet in the distance, and there were a lot of ancient star system cultivators living there. Right now I can't be soft-hearted. I was born in the inner realm, and sooner or later the inner and outer realms will go into all-out war. Killing one more person now will weaken the outer realm. This is a battle between 2 realms, there is no right or wrong. Wang Lin's speed increased greatly as he pondered, and popping sounds echoed inside his body. The black fog returned once more and carried him toward the cultivation planet. He flew faster and faster as he broke through space and closed in on the cultivation planet. The cultivation planet before him was dark and covered in swamps. The spiritual energy there was extremely dense, and not only were there cultivators, but also a large amount of spirit beasts. However, one strange thing was that the planet was filled with resentment. The resentment was so dense that it seemed to rush into the sky. When he closed in, a sharp scream came from the planet, and the formation around it activated. It unexpectedly knew of Wang Lin's arrival. However, the speed of the formation's activation was too slow to Wang Lin. In a flash, he charged into the formation while it opened. The black fog split into hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of parts that spread across the cultivation planet, and it began devouring like crazy. The miserable screams were heaven-shaking on this cultivation planet filled with resentment. All the cultivators were surrounded by black fog. Their flesh withered and all their vitality and blood was drained by the black fog. An old man wearing green flew out of the cultivation planet and roared, "What demonic cultivator dares to come to my devil NA planet to devour?" There was a green halo around him. A cultivator that had reached the first heaven's blight? A powerful cultivator. Wang Lin's eyes turned cold and he licked his lips. Then his whole body turned into a ray of G-realm lightning that broke through the fog and shot at the old man. The old man's expression changed and he was about to resist when a gloomy voice echoed. "Stop!" With one word, the old man's body paused for a moment, and that pause was difference between life and death. The red lightning Wang Lin had turned into landed on the old man, and he let out a mournful scream. The black fog immediately surrounded the old man. This video will end here.